The firefighter checked the man's mouth. The small car suddenly exploded. A truck carrying 22 million killer bees lost control. Millions of killer bees started swarming toward them. The helpless driver became the first victim. They quickly called emergency services, and for now, it seemed safe inside the car. When the firefighters arrived, they saw a massive swarm of bees circling the area, making it impossible to approach. Their equipment wasn't very effective, and within minutes, it broke down. The water pump got clogged and couldn't spray any water. They immediately called for backup, but due to heavy traffic, it would take at least 20 minutes for help to arrive. Meanwhile, there was trouble inside the car. The dispatcher warned them not to attack or provoke the killer bees. At the same time, over in the fire truck, a man was being rescued, just as the firefighter was about to check his mouth. The firefighter checked the man's mouth. After using equipment to suck out all the bees, the man was out of danger. Meanwhile, inside the car, a killer bee landed on a girl's face. In this situation, not even a full-grown adult could stay calm, let alone an 8-year-old girl.
Go away, stupid bee! Brave up! No!
Because of her severe allergy, she was already struggling to breathe within seconds. Luckily, her mom had an epinephrine pen in the car. With a quick shot, the girl immediately showed signs of recovery. However, the bad news was that the mother was also allergic to bees. Fortunately, the dispatcher guided the girl to use the leftover medicine in the syringe to save her mother. At that moment, the rescue team outside realized that thick smoke could repel the bees. They started using smoke to drive away the swarm and rescued everyone inside the car. Just when they thought it was all over, the truck suddenly exploded, releasing even more killer bees.
It's a bee NATO.
A girl jumped into a pool to escape the swarming tens of thousands of killer bees, but each time she came up for air, she got stung. Earlier, a truck had overturned on the highway, releasing 22 million killer bees into the air. At a nearby perfume company's event setup, no one noticed that the tents were already crawling with the bees. The next day, a girl sprayed on the new perfume, which was rumored to attract all male creatures. Seconds later,
oh my God!
Sheila to the shallow end and have her stay
hovering. And then every time she comes up for air,
at the emergency center, the operator guided the girl to swim towards the shallow end and use the pool's water pipe to breathe. But the bees followed her through the pipe. To save the girl, one firefighter sprayed himself all over with perfume to attract the killer bees.
Okay, but why does it have to be me?
You're the fastest runner.
You smell wonderful, by the way.
Han, I take the bait. You dive in ASAP.
Copy that, Cap.
Godspeed, Diaz.
It's okay, Eddie. You got it.
No. Go, 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 go!
Not yet, not yet!
The plan worked. Every single bee was drawn to the firefighter, who led them into a preset tent trap. Meanwhile, the others quickly dove into the pool to rescue him. A truck overturned on the highway, releasing 22 million killer bees. A firefighter, in order to save a girl trapped in a swimming pool, sprayed himself with perfume to lure away tens of thousands of killer bees. The poor girl had already been stung all over, her body covered in thousands of stingers that were releasing venom every second. The poor girl had already been stung all over, with thousands of stingers releasing venom every second. She could die from exhaustion at any moment, but there were just too many stingers. The firefighter had a sudden idea: why not use tape? Sure enough, with just a light pull, dozens or even hundreds of stingers were stuck to the tape and removed. The girl finally stabilized. Animal control officers also arrived at the scene, taking care of all the killer bees. They thought they had completely defeated the bees, but it turned out they had only dealt with about 200,000. That meant there were still 20 million killer bees on the loose. The fire captain woke up to find that he had gone bald.
Damn, son, somebody get me my shades! Nice chrome dome, buddy!
Oh, sweet God, is that my future? Hey, Lex, you looking for Superman? He just left.
You gonna make the Proby shine that thing up too?
I'd be happy to, Cap. I don't even think it looks that terrible.
Wait a minute. You told me I'd look good, Paul.
Well, you've certainly gone out of your way to prove me wrong.
The alarm sounded. The fire crew set out to fight the fire. As the chief prepared to rescue residents trapped in a burning building.
You're my knight in shining armor.
Grab my arm!
You know what? I'm good.
What?
I'll just stay here.
You'll die!
I'm okay with that.
You're being irrational.
Have you seen yourself?
Huh?
It turned out to be just a nightmare.
You okay? Yeah. Go to sleep.
A truck driver, exhausted from long hours of driving, crashed straight into a bridge support column.
Kim!
The dispatcher immediately deployed all available police and firefighters to the scene for support.
118. Report and I need a head count.
Conscious survivors began to respond one by one. One team member had several broken ribs, while another was impaled by a steel rod. As the rod was removed, blood poured from the wound.
Oh, that's not good.
He quickly patched up his injury. Meanwhile, despite constant calls, there was no response from the captain. The surviving firefighters continued to rescue their comrades, but one insisted that the injured should be saved first.
I'll be right back for you, champ.
At the bottom of the container, the captain finally regained consciousness, only to find that the radio was broken. With no other option, he picked up a nearby fire axe and began banging on the container to make noise. The sound caught the attention of nearby police, who came to assist. Meanwhile, an accident occurred involving the fire truck. Inside, injured firefighters struggled to escape the danger. Seeing that their teammate was about to give out, other firefighters rushed to help.
This is Sergeant Athena Grant.
Wait.
To anyone on scene, I have Captain Nash of the 118 and a civilian. We're trapped in a container at the bottom of the collapse.
But the container was firmly pinned down. In a crucial moment, the dispatcher contacted nearby construction workers and brought in a crane. All the firefighters survived, with only the driver of the truck perishing at the scene. Someone drove a car up an electric pole, leaving the arriving firefighters stunned. It turned out a father and son were practicing for the driving test. The son, feeling nervous, knocked over a trash can. The father was disappointed and forbade his son from driving again. Suddenly, he had a heart attack. The car was under thousands of volts of high-voltage electricity. The power company wouldn't be able to cut the power for at least half an hour. Firefighters maneuvered the ladder truck closer to the vehicle, but the father refused to leave.
No, we're not going anywhere until the power company gets here.
If they stayed any longer, they could both cooked by the electricity. Suddenly, a spark ignited a fire that quickly engulfed the car.
Guys, we need to move now.
Look, if we stay here, we both die, so just shut up and let me help you!
Finally, the father relented. They escaped safely.
They're clear! Swing it!
Firefighters must really dislike electric vehicles that are prone to spontaneous combustion.